TP. So simply, if you don't want to go all the way back, you've got here, which is where we're sitting on as well, almost perfectly where we're going into our trade. I would be looking at the next point up. So it's going quite far back now. So we're probably looking around this area for our take profit. As you can see, these two have tested it and got rejected. So I'd go a little bit lower. And again, that brings us in almost perfect one-to-one risk reward. But that is short term. I generally quite like to let these ride. But you've got to be mindful that your stop loss is down here. So we could look at the other optional trading, which is have a little bit more longevity. Bearing in mind, this is our first bullish trade in a while. So there's a good chance that this could be looking at a breakout, which is what we are looking. This is a trade that we're suggested to go in here. This is a noticeable break of trends according to the algorithms. So we could look to give it a little more kind of faith, a little bit more optimism, and go target a little bit longer as well. Now, if we scan back out a bit, this would be our next kind of key take profit zone where it's got rejected last. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's put it there. And we keep on going, and that brings us in a 21% profit with a 4.25 risk reward, 5% stop loss. And we could, keep on going. But, what's the point? We're always going to get loads more signals. So take profit when you can and move your stop losses up accordingly to break even. The next long trade we have right here, this looks like quite a cool one actually. Whoopsie daisy. Get rid of you. And look at this one. This is just crazy good. So we've got a trending bull reversal, and it really could not hit any more of the bottom. So our last kind of stop loss is this line just here, which isn't too close. Again, we can go for a one-to-one risk reward, which would bring it in straight away. That's a bit off. Bring it in straight away. Or we can, just as per, let it ride. And that will take us quite conservative if we miss that bit. Let's bring it down a little bit so that into a very optimal not miss. Bring us to a 15% win, risk reward of 5.86. And we have a don't worry about it because we have another awesome trade that we can jump into just here as well, which hits the bottom of the dip when going up. You really couldn't ask for much more, to be quite honest. And then we're going to be notified of a breakdown trade and a bearish trade. So we'll be jumping in just here. And again, where was our last kind of point of resistance? We can go in just here because we're just following this little line here. We could conservatively put it there, but if we'd stick to our one-to-one rule of thumb, then hey, we get another win there, and we'd be riding this trade through. So there's a pretty good chance we probably wouldn't be taking this trade. However, that one's a bit of a mess. I'm not going to get into that. Let's just call that one a loss of 1%. But then, lo and behold, we go into our next trade, and this is a breakout. So again, with breakout trades, please be mindful that breakout, the clues in the title, it can actually go up quite heavily. So I would put my stop loss just here, just below. Very significant kind of support and resistance just here. And definitely go start from at least here. I mean, we want to be pushing for the one-to-one risk reward at least, and then let it ride up. And then you can take profit around about 4%, which is great. And now here's some of the trades where when they spike up, there is not much you can really do about them because we're going down. We're in a bit of a downward trend here. And sometimes it will give you these signals. But, on the flip side, this is where I would be putting my take profit around about here, which is quite fair. We're seeing significant kind of support here. And the last notable one would probably be around about here, to be quite honest, which is we're looking at a couple of key resistance points. So that is something where I'd set my trade up like. So I'd be looking at losing about 0.5% for the sake of winning 2%. So yeah, I would take that trade myself, because the risk reward is so good that it doesn't really matter. Why not? But we get pumped straight into a bearish market now. Bearish market for the 15 minutes, and we scan out a little bit, and it'll be telling us to go right in just here. Risk stop loss down to here. I'd say here's key because we're seeing a lot of support and resistance just there. And so if one-to-one would be met here, and then we can let it ride and see what kind of potential gains we can actually get from this. And that will take us up to conservatively 15-16%, which is fantastic. And we have multiple trades on the way as well, from breakout trades to all breakout trades actually there. So I mean, if you're seeing that many breakout trades coming along, then yeah, you should be expecting quite a substantial breakout. And here's an example of us coming into one of those quite rapid reverses, which is just not too much you can do about. And this is, I guess, why you have to be very, very conservative about your stop losses if and where you can. So stop loss there, we'd be looking at losing around about, got a short there, we'd be looking at losing around about 1% there, which, it's not the best, but, after 15-20% win just then, it's not the worst either. So we get stung a couple of times, what looks like here as well. And again, you just be mindful of your stop losses. So this is where we'd get called to trade, just in here. Realistically, we're looking at putting a stop loss here, and one-to-one, we wouldn't really kind of meet it, even if we made it to here. But one thing I will say is, when I generally use, and I've said it on my videos, I generally use the stop loss timeout on 3 commas, which can accommodate these wicks. So let's say if we had our stop loss here, and we timed our stop loss timeout to 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it basically means that it could potentially save you from getting just wicked out here, and it could carry on through, and you could end up seeing, let's say you're very conservative about this. Now, this is not a good trade, but you could end up seeing profit of 2.2%, but why you'd want to do a 0.5 risk reward is probably not the best idea. So ultimately, that would be a losing trade. Obviously, I'm taking every trade here and seeing how it is. For the sake of losing, I think 3-4 trades that we have done so far versus some of the winning trades, it happens. This is about honesty and what I can't fabricate charts. I can't fabricate what signals come on this. And then here we have one as well. So we'd be putting our stop loss down to 2.6 and logically aiming for here, which would be a great risk reward, 100% going for that trade. I mean, not going to lie, we are in a bit of a range here. So going in right at the middle, not kind of sitting on any support, it carries its risks. But hey, like I said, I'm taking every trade. And here as well, we have, let's see what's going on. Telling us to get into our little reversal trade here. I would pop my stop loss around about here. It's one of the most recent kind of resistances, and then aim for here. Quite logical. So even technically, it's going in a bit of an uptrend, we're still winning, we're still taking profits, which is great, and that's a good risk reward as well. Scan out a bit, because I feel this is looking like it's going into a bit of a heavy uptrend. And then up here we've got 30 seconds left of the video because I've run over. But this is bringing us up to about a month and a half. I'll just quickly scroll out. As you can see, this would be a win, win, that'd be a loss, win, 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 loss, win, 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 win. Very successful. Thank you very much for watching.